Good morning from the beach. It's been super stormy recently. I've never seen so much rain in my life, and some places have been really badly flooded. The other day, like a tree fell down outside one of the cabines, and the lady, she was offered to move somewhere else. We cleared it away, and she was offered to move somewhere else. She's like, no, I like being in the garden in nature, and you know, it's people's dream holiday to come to Costa Rica, and this is the rainy season, or the green season as it's called here. And normally it's a bit rainy, but it's just been crazy. And she's just so positive about everything. I love it. Anyway, I made a really long waffly video ages ago about some very random stuff that I decided not to share. I'm going to try and summarize it. So the first one, the Truman Show comes into my mind a lot. And one of the key points in the Truman Show is that he was kind of trapped in this dome prison. For me, anyway, one of the key points. But that prison didn't have any bars on it. The only thing that kept him trapped was his fear. So he had a fear of water. So he couldn't get on a boat, which he'd been programmed to have since childhood because his father had allegedly died in a boating accident. And then every time he tried to leave, there was something stopping him. There was a barrier in his way. And when he tried to leave over the bridge, they created a forest fire. And in the end, the only way he escaped the delusion, the lie that he was living in, was by stepping into his fear of water. And then he found the truth. And the other thing that I think about a lot is there's a lot of chat about time and whether time is an illusion or time is real. And so my question is this. People do past life regression. I've done one before. And we talk about our past lives and our ancestors. But a lot of people in that same kind of cohort, I guess, also say that time is an illusion, that it doesn't actually exist. And that everything is happening all at once, right here, right now. So if that's true, then there's no such thing as a past life. Our past lives are simply versions of ourselves living in this moment in parallel universes. And maybe when we're tapping into past lives, what we're actually tapping into is just a version of ourselves in a different reality. I get so many random things popping into my head. Another thing that I've been thinking a lot about is there such a thing as a fact? Because we learn facts about stuff, and then those facts are often disproven. So is there such a thing as a fact, or is everything actually just a theory? Like in quantum physics, everything is theoretical. But maybe everything is theoretical. Because do we actually really know anything as a fact? Do we? I don't know. And I don't mean like stuff like hair colour and eye colour. But then that's all perceptive. That's all perception, and minds creating our reality. So I don't know. Somebody tells you this is blue, you see it as blue, but blue to me may be different to blue to you. I have no idea. I'll never see through your eyes. And the other thing, learning languages. I think a lot of the time we're really hard on ourselves, and I'm just projecting. Whenever I say we, I'm actually just talking about my experience. And learning Spanish, like for example, when in Spain they have a very different accent to in Costa Rica, and I find Costa Rica much easier to understand. And Argentina, I think they have an amazing accent, but it's difficult for me to understand because I've learned here. And it's not just the accent. Like in Ecuador, the word for cool is chévere, but in Costa Rica it's genial, or there's another word that someone told me the other day that I've never heard. I get not annoyed with myself, but frustrated at times that I struggle with certain aspects of it. But then sometimes I can't remember English words. And I've discovered that American English and English are very different. Just really simple things like we're talking about taking the rubbish out. So I've emptied the rubbish bin and everyone looks at me like I'm a weirdo because it's a trash can, taking the trash out. I think a lot of the time, even within the same language, there's a huge amount of miscommunication, particularly when we're messaging via text. Because I might send a text message going, hi, how are you? I hope you're okay, in my head. And that person's like, oh my God, I can't believe that's what they said. I'm having a really shit time. I don't know. And it's just this kind of miscommunication because the person who reads that message or receives it based on what they've got going on in their own mind. So written communication falls way short for me, I think. Most communication is non-verbal anyway. So how can written communication work? Which is why I'm a little bit obsessed with emojis, because I think that if I'm trying to communicate something to somebody and I want them to understand the intention with which it was sent, I put emojis on, and maybe that's too much for some people and they don't like emojis, but that's what I do. And then, so voice notes are good because you have intonations in voice and you have a change of tone and speed, and I think I just said the same thing twice. But then I think video notes or video calling people is just incredible because, yeah, you don't have the whole non-verbal communication, but you have so much more. And so much of what we share is non-verbal. It's just, I just find the whole thing really interesting. So, for example, when I first came here and I could speak zero Spanish, most of the communication I had with people was non-verbal. Like, I'd pick up a fork and hold it up and be like, what's this? And someone would tell me, but I couldn't write that in Spanish. And they didn't understand English. So I don't even know what I'm saying. Maybe there's something useful in amongst all of that. Anyway, I think it's about to rain again. The sky's looking very gloomy and heavy, and I just tried to come out for a walk with one of the dogs today because the other dog has hurt either his foot or his leg or his hip, I'm not sure. So we had a team effort to stop him from leaving when I came, and then I got to the beach and I turned around and who was by me? So we're just having a little walk, as in a short walk, because he went rest and I couldn't take him back because, well, his little heart. Yeah, anyway, that's enough. I'm just waffling about nothing. Have a wonderful day. Sí, mi amor, aquí. Venga, aquí.